So following the Great Recession, we have seen in the UK housing market the number of sales falling dramatically, and this number of sales has stayed low for quite a few years. And therefore, in this research, we try to explain why this is the case, and we analyze in particular a few possible explanations. One of which being history, what we call history dependence. So history dependence is the tendency of homeowners to put their house on the market less frequently for sale if the house was bought at a high price. And if they put it for sale, they ask for a higher price than the average seller in that particular local market. This is controlling for the characteristics of the house, and we can even follow the same house if the house was sold different times. If the house was sold several times, we can see that when it was sold after a decrease in house prices, then the price is different with respect to the average than the same house being sold after a period of increasing prices. So it's unrelated to the quality of the house per se. We are making a point about the behavior of homeowners. So what we do in the data is to go in each and every local authority in England and Wales and compare houses of the same type in the same local areas, compare them one against the other and check when they were first purchased. So if two houses that have similar quality then are advertised and sold for different prices. And the only reason that we see in the data for this discrepancy is the fact that one of these two properties was bought when house prices were high and the other was bought when house prices were low. Then we conclude that this history dependence is causing sellers to behave in different ways. So there could be two explanations for history dependence. The first is anchoring, so people attributing great importance to the price that they purchased the house for, and disregarding to some extent the evolution of house prices in the local area since they first bought the property. Whereas the other explanation is related to the mortgage market and is related to the need of a deposit to move to the next property. So people who bought with a high loan-to-value ratio are more likely to wait until the gain is sufficient to give them the deposit to move on. To separate the two explanations behind history dependence, we rerun the analysis on two subgroups of owners. One is the subgroup of people that bought the house with a mortgage, and the other is the group of people that bought the house with cash. Now, if the mortgage-based explanation, the one that relies on deposit, is the one at work, we should see no effect in the cash group. However, we see the same history dependence and with approximately the same intensity in both groups, which leads us to think that the behavioral explanation is the one really at work in the UK housing market. So we find that about 10% of the decline in housing market sales after the Great Recession in the UK can be explained with history dependence, and therefore going forward we should expect this force to still be at work and future house price cycles to come together with big changes in the number of housing sales in the housing market.